Hi, in this video we're going to look at why you want to invest in selling more maintenance service contracts. There's lots of benefits, so please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So the first reason you're going to want to invest in selling maintenance contracts is they help keep your customers sticky. It's great work for your technicians to have during non-busy times. They're typically prepaid, which helps with cash flow. It'll increase your EBITDA as EBITDA is based on maintenance contracts. You're 8 times more likely to get incremental work from existing maintenance contracts customers. And when quoted correctly, they eliminate the risk of margin creep as you're making sure you quote the right tasks that need to be performed on the equipment under contract. Still not sure why? Well, it helps keep consistent deliverables from your salespeople. Now they're selling the exact same tasking for the same types of equipment. Clearly define the scope of the contract for your customers so they know what you're doing, your technicians so they do the right work, and of course your salespeople so they're quoting the right tasks. It'll help increase your margins through client education, and it'll crush your competition as they won't have the detail that you have. So what are the typical barriers? Well, you need good data to make good decisions on how to create these service contracts, and they're difficult to collect. We tend to focus on low price versus high value, and as a result, you erode margins. Your sales team need training on the benefits of selling high resolution contracts, which is not the norm for salespeople. But once done, it's a great tool. And without the right tools, there are a lot of work to put together and price accurately. So salespeople will tend to get lazy and not do them. So what you need are the right software with the right software experts and advisors. And it's really a small investment with large returns. So you want software with task templates for all types of equipment, making quoting easy and risk-free. You're going to educate your sales team with advisors that know how to help close more sales with higher margins. And not only will this improve your close rates, but this will also elevate your company's image and brand, you as a trusted expert. So take the risk out of maintenance contracts by investing in selling them. Now, let's look at the tool Quadra that's going to help you sell your maintenance contracts. First, there's a mobile surveying tool that will allow you to collect field data about the customers. It's a hybrid application, so it can be used on any smartphone or tablet. And when you're going through, you can add existing equipment records to existing customers. You can add new customers. In this case here, I'm looking at Lang Hardware. I can see there's 3 pieces of equipment there. I'm going to be on site. I'm going to add a new piece of equipment that they have there. I can go through a predefined list of equipment types, and it'll automatically associate all the associated maintenance tasks based on the equipment type and size. Fill out the required information. So it helps your service techs when they're on site. And fill out the various pieces of data that's needed to ensure you're going to quote the correct amount of effort based on things like the age of the equipment, the type of equipment, etc. So you can see how easy it is to go through this list, add the equipment records. So you can see I just went through and quickly added that one. I can add as many equipment records as I like, but really that's the effort. You enter it once, it's stored in the system. So now I'm going to go into my service contract quoting tool. Now that I've added that equipment, I'm going to pull up that customer, and I'm going to see that particular customer at that location has these 4 equipment records that I've added. You know, I can see all the details. I can go through and you know, look at the tasking that's been predefined that's required for that type of equipment. These will be the tasks your service techs perform. You know, it helps ensure that your sales reps are quoting the correct tasking and that you're getting the right level of detail that's needed to ensure you're going to have an accurate quote. So I just filled out a few pieces of information. You know, I could copy a previous contract if I had one. That's really simple. Plug in a few key values like the start date of the contract, how long the contract's going to go for. In this case, I'll make it just over a year. And go through and set those dates. I can look at things like, you know, how frequently am I going to bill this customer, on a quarterly, monthly, annually, etc. I can set the billing date, and I can also set, you know, the default date for when service calls are going to be done by your technicians. So it's pretty simple to go through and create. There's a number of other features that I can look at, such as you know, looking at historically to see what types of equipment or material I've used in previous contracts with the same type of equipment. So this makes sure that I'm, you know, including the right material, and that'll automatically populate on the service contract. You know, I can pick which pieces of equipment I want to include in this maintenance contract. You know, a number of features that make it really simple and straightforward to do. I can add a time travel calculator, which automatically calculates the time it's going to take to go from your service center to the customer's site. You know, go through and fill out the necessary information just to make sure that I capture all the costs associated with fulfilling this particular contract. And now that I've got the travel time set up, I can go through and do a number of things. I can add another piece of equipment. from the system. So again, pretty simple and straightforward to go through, pick the equipment type, fill out some of the key pieces of information, the critical pieces, matching up the task listing with the various equipment types. You can put the install date, etc. on there, fill out that detail, give it a description, and that piece of equipment's now just been added to the maintenance contract. Pretty simple and straightforward to do. Identifies it as a new piece of equipment. I can see all the tasking associated with that piece of equipment to know that I have everything done or on there that I need. And so once that's done, I can just go ahead and create the service contract now. So that's gone ahead and put in all the associated tasking, identified the dates for the months that the tasks are going to be performed. And you can see, I can see, each subtask associated with those primary tasks. Again, very, very high resolution, granular. So you're making sure you're not losing any money, forgetting any tasks that need to be performed. I can go through and alter and adjust tasks and remove tasks. In this case here, I can look at the details, look at the time associated with each task. I can adjust and tweak those if I want. I can look at the next year to see what tasking is out there. I can also go through and start editing this task list now, doing a number of things like cutting and pasting, so I can move tasks from one period to another. So I can say, I don't want to do these in January, I'm going to push these out to April for whatever reason. If that's not your busy time, you want to move it out to April, you can do that. So pretty simple and straightforward to go through and manage that. There's a number of other things I can do. I can edit the, our anticipated duration that it's going to take to perform a task. And that just sets it up. There's a few other things that I can look at doing as well if I want to streamline. So for instance, let's say that the customer says, hey, I want to lower the scope here, to lower the cost. So I can say, I'm going to do the filter services myself. So I can then just group all of the tasks by that filter service, and then just say, hey, the customer's decided that they're going to do all that. So I can group sort all of that data and then go through and tweak and update it as necessary. So in this case here, I'm just going to say, hey, yeah, there's the other filter service the customer's going to do. So let's remove that from scope. It's dynamically adjusting the contract pricing when I do that. So again, I'm not having to recalculate anything. It does it all on the fly for me. And I can see, those tasks have been lined out, so you can still see them on the contract, but they're there for the customer to see, and there they are. We've removed the material as well because the customer's going to do it themselves, but we're just noting that it's there so that the customer knows that they've agreed that they're going to do that as part of this. Within the bid summary now, I can go through and tweak and adjust, all elements of this, whether it's labor, whether it's material. I can adjust the gross margin on this contract. It'll auto-calculate what the contract cost is going to, price is going to be automatically. I could set a fixed rate for the contract, and it'll automatically calculate my margins for me. And anything with an underline in it, you can go through and tweak and edit and adjust to get it to the level that you want it to be at. The next thing you're going to do is create your actual quote letter, and this is done through a series of templates that are all user defined. You can have a variety of different templates based on who the customer is, whether it's government, whether it's private sector. So you basically are going to go through and then pick from the list of defined templates, and they can be a variety of different formats. This is all user definable based on how you want the actual quote or the service contract to look when you send it to the customer. So here's an example of one. And here's another example of a different, different type of contract. So again, lots of flexibility to make sure you're getting the granularity and the detail out at the contract that you're sending out to the quote to the customer that you want. And then once that contract gets out to the customer, they're going to come back and approve it. And once they do that, then all you really have to do is just go through and approve that contract, and then that's gonna set up all the tasking that's necessary to to manage that service contract. So that's a great way to get a very detailed, high resolution service contract out to your clients. So how do you get started with this? Well, you're going to get a trial version of Quadrant installed for your company. It's going to come preloaded with a comprehensive equipment and tasking library, or you can send your own or set up your own tasking. You can then upload your customer lists and your material lists, and you can be up and running with minimal training in days and ready to go. And then you're going to leverage our sales experts to help educate your team in terms of how they can improve selling maintenance contracts and help close more service contracts. So for more information, just contact us at sales@earthcorp.com or visit us on our website.